After discovering my fiancé's secret double life with my sister, I exposed them at our wedding and found unexpected love in the aftermath. Here's how it all unfolded. When I look back, it's hard to pinpoint the exact moment things began to unravel. I guess it all started when Jake proposed. It was a warm summer evening and we were standing on the beach, the sun dipping below the horizon. As he knelt in the sand, ring in hand, I thought I was the luckiest woman in the world. Little did I know that moment of bliss was the beginning of a journey that would test every ounce of my strength. Jake and I had been together for 3 years. We met at a mutual friend's party, one of those rare instances where the connection was instant. He was charming, attentive, and made me feel like the only person in the room. Our relationship quickly blossomed, and it wasn't long before we moved in together. Life with Jake was like living in a dream. Adventurous weekends, cozy movie nights, and long, deep conversations about our future. Planning the wedding was a whirlwind. My sister Emily and I had always been close, so naturally she was my maid of honor. Emily was the life of the party, the one who could light up any room with her laughter. She and Jake got along famously, and it made me happy to see the two people I loved most in the world becoming friends. We spent countless hours together planning every detail of the big day. The closer we got to the wedding, the more perfect everything seemed. My dress was a vision of lace and satin, a gown that made me feel like a princess. The venue was an old, charming manor with sprawling gardens and an elegant ballroom. Jake was as involved in the planning as I was, often surprising me with little touches that showed just how excited he was to become my husband. Looking back, those moments were tainted with a bittersweet irony. Emily and I would often have late-night planning sessions, fueled by wine and laughter. We'd talk about our childhood, our dreams, and our fears. She seemed genuinely happy for me, and I never doubted her loyalty. It was this unwavering trust that made the betrayal all the more devastating. There were, of course, small signs that something was amiss, but I chalked them up to wedding stress. Jake would occasionally receive texts late at night that he'd dismiss with a quick explanation. Emily, too, seemed more preoccupied than usual, but I assumed it was the pressure of her own hectic life. After all, she was juggling a demanding job and a new relationship of her own. It wasn't until I stumbled upon a series of late-night conversations between Jake and Emily that my suspicions began to take shape. I remember that night vividly. Jake had fallen asleep on the couch, his phone clutched in his hand. A message from Emily flashed on the screen, and curiosity got the better of me. I picked up the phone and opened the chat. What I found made my blood run cold. Their messages were intimate, far beyond what was appropriate between a future brother and sister-in-law. They spoke in code, using nicknames and private jokes that I didn't recognize. There were photos, too, selfies of the two of them together, their faces too close for comfort. My heart pounded in my chest as I scrolled through the messages, the full weight of their betrayal sinking in. I felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and a profound sense of disbelief. How could the two people I trusted most in the world do this to me? I wanted to confront them both immediately, to demand answers, but I knew I needed to be smart about it. I couldn't let them see how much they had hurt me, not yet. Instead, I decided to dig deeper, to find out just how far their deceit went. The next few weeks were a blur of covert investigations. I started paying closer attention to Jake's behavior, noting his absences and the times he was unusually secretive. I confided in my best friend, Lily, who was just as shocked as I was. Together, we began to piece together the extent of Jake and Emily's relationship, gathering evidence that would eventually lead to their downfall. As the wedding day approached, my anger turned to determination. I refused to let them get away with their betrayal. If they thought they could humiliate me and still enjoy a happily ever after, they were sorely mistaken. I decided I would expose them in the most dramatic way possible, at the wedding in front of all our family and friends. It was a risky plan, but I knew it was the only way to get the closure I needed. The day of the wedding arrived, and I was a bundle of nerves. I went through the motions, putting on my dress, smiling for photos, and greeting guests. Inside, though, I was a storm of emotions, ready to unleash the truth. The ceremony was beautiful, a picture-perfect moment that masked the chaos brewing beneath the surface. As I stood at the altar looking into Jake's eyes, I felt a pang of sadness for what could have been. But that sadness was quickly replaced by a steely resolve. This was my moment, and I was going to make it count. The guests had settled into their seats, a hush falling over the crowd as the music began to play. I took a deep breath, steadying myself for what was about to come. Jake stood at the altar, his smile radiating confidence and charm. Emily was beside me, her face a mask of serenity, completely unaware of the storm brewing inside me. I clutched my bouquet tightly, the delicate flowers trembling slightly in my grip. The ceremony commenced, the officiant's words blending into a blur as my mind raced. Every stolen glance between Jake and Emily, every whispered conversation played on a loop in my head. As the vows began, I knew it was time to act. I couldn't let this sham of a marriage continue, not for another second. "Do you, Jake, take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife?" the officiant asked. Jake turned to me, his eyes locking onto mine. "I do," he said, his voice steady. "And do you, Claire, take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband?" This was it. I took a deep breath, my heart pounding in my chest. "Before I answer that," I said, my voice shaking slightly, "there's something I need to say." A murmur rippled through the guests, curiosity piqued. I could see my parents exchanging worried glances, and Jake's smile faltered for a split second. Emily's eyes widened in shock. "I've been dreaming of this day for so long," I began, forcing a smile, "but dreams have a way of turning into nightmares when secrets come to light. You see, Jake, Emily, I've known for a while now about your little secret." The room fell silent, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Jake's face went pale and Emily's expression shifted from shock to horror. "I trusted you both more than anyone else in my life," I continued, my voice growing stronger. "But the late-night messages, the secret meetings, the betrayal, it all came to light. I found out about your affair, Jake, with my own sister, Emily." Gasps echoed through the room, and I saw my mother clutching her chest, her face ashen. My father stood, his mouth agape, unable to process what he was hearing. The guests looked around in disbelief, whispers and shocked exclamations filling the air. Jake's eyes were wide with panic. "Claire, I can explain," he stammered, stepping toward me. "No, Jake," I said, holding up my hand to stop him. "There is no explanation that can undo the damage you've caused. You and Emily betrayed me in the worst possible way, and I won't stand here and let you make a mockery of this day." Emily was in tears, her makeup smudged as she tried to form words. "Claire, please let me explain," she pleaded. "Explain? How do you explain betraying your own sister?" I shot back, my voice sharp. "You were supposed to be my maid of honor, my confidant, my best friend. Instead, you chose to stab me in the back." The officiant looked utterly bewildered, unsure of how to proceed. I turned to the guests, my voice steadying as I addressed them. "I'm sorry you all had to witness this, but I couldn't go through with a marriage built on lies and deceit. I deserve better than that. We all do." With that, I turned on my heel and walked down the aisle, the murmur of the crowd following me. I felt a mixture of liberation and heartbreak. The weight of the truth finally lifted from my shoulders. I could hear Lily calling my name, and I paused, allowing her to catch up. "Claire, wait!" Lily said, her eyes filled with concern. "Are you okay?" I nodded, tears streaming down my face. "I will be. I just need to get out of here." We made our way to the exit, the stunned faces of our friends and family blurring past us. I could hear the commotion behind me, but I didn't look back. I couldn't. I needed to leave the chaos behind and find some semblance of peace. As we stepped outside, the cool air hit my face, a stark contrast to the heat of the emotions raging inside. I took a deep breath, feeling a strange sense of relief. The truth was out, and there was no turning back. Lily wrapped her arm around me, offering a comforting presence. "What now?" she asked softly. I don't know, I admitted, my voice trembling. But I do know that I won't let them destroy me. I'll find a way to move forward, to rebuild. Lily nodded, her eyes filled with determination. And I'll be with you every step of the way. As we walked away from the manor, I felt a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, and an unexpected glimmer of hope. I had exposed the truth, and though the road ahead was uncertain, I knew I had the strength to face whatever came next. The days following the wedding were a blur of raw emotions and fragmented thoughts. The shockwaves of the revelation rippled through our family and friends, leaving everyone stunned and searching for answers. I had retreated to my apartment, finding solace in the familiar surroundings and the comforting presence of Lily, who refused to leave my side. "Claire, you need to eat something," Lily said gently, placing a plate of toast and scrambled eggs in front of me. I stared at it, my appetite non-existent, but I knew she was right. I had to take care of myself even if it felt impossible. "Thanks, Lily," I said, managing a weak smile. "I don't know what I'd do without you." "We're in this together," she replied, squeezing my hand. "And you're stronger than you think. You'll get through this." With her encouragement, I forced myself to take a few bites, the food tasteless in my mouth. The betrayal still felt like a fresh wound, but I knew I couldn't let it define me. I had to find a way to move forward, to reclaim my life from the wreckage Jake and Emily had left behind. The first step was confronting my emotions head-on. I spent hours journaling, pouring my heart onto the pages in an attempt to make sense of the chaos. I wrote about the love I had once felt for Jake, the trust I had placed in Emily, and the pain of their betrayal. It was cathartic, a way to release the pent-up anger and sadness that threatened to consume me. Lily was my rock during this time, her unwavering support a beacon of light in the darkness. She listened as I ranted, cried, and questioned everything. She reminded me of my worth, of the strength that had always been within me. Slowly I began to believe her. One afternoon, as we sat on the couch, the remnants of a takeout meal scattered around us, Lily broached a topic I had been avoiding. "Have you thought about what you want to do next?" she asked, her tone gentle but probing. I sighed, leaning back against the cushions. "I don't know, Lily. Everything feels so uncertain. I can't go back to how things were, but I don't know where to start." "Maybe it's time for a fresh start," she suggested. "Something completely new, something that excites you." Her words sparked a flicker of hope within me. A fresh start. The idea seemed daunting, but also liberating. I had been so consumed by the betrayal that I had forgotten about my own dreams and aspirations. It was time to reclaim them. A few days later, I received an unexpected call from my parents. They had been struggling to come to terms with the situation, their hearts torn between their daughters. They invited me over for dinner, hoping to bridge the gap that had formed. As I arrived at their house, I felt a mixture of anxiety and determination. My parents greeted me with warm hugs, their eyes reflecting a mix of sorrow and relief. We sat down to dinner, the atmosphere heavy with unspoken words. "Claire," my mother began, her voice trembling, "we want you to know how much we love you. This situation has been incredibly difficult for all of us, but we're here for you no matter what." "I appreciate that, Mom," I said, my voice choked with emotion. "It's been hard, but I'm trying to move forward." My father nodded, his expression serious. "And what about Emily? Have you spoken to her?" The mention of her name stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me. "No, I haven't. I don't think I'm ready for that yet." "We understand," my mother said softly. "Take your time. We're here to support you, whatever you decide." Their words were a comfort, a reminder that I wasn't alone in this journey. As the evening went on, we talked about lighter things, memories from my childhood, funny stories that made us laugh. It was a balm for my wounded heart, a reminder that life could still hold moments of joy. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into finding a new direction. I reconnected with old friends, pursued hobbies I had long neglected, and even started a new job that challenged and excited me. It wasn't easy, and there were days when the weight of the past threatened to pull me under, but I kept pushing forward, one step at a time. Lily was my constant companion, always ready with a kind word or a shoulder to cry on. She encouraged me to embrace the unknown, to see this as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. And slowly, I began to see the truth in her words. One evening, as we sat on my balcony, sipping wine and watching the sunset, Lily broached a topic that had been on her mind. "Claire, there's something I think you should consider," she said, her eyes thoughtful. "What's that?" I asked, curious. "Forgiveness," she replied, her voice gentle. "Not for Jake or Emily, but for yourself. You've been through so much, and holding on to the anger and hurt will only weigh you down. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from their hold on you." Her words struck a chord deep within me. Forgiveness. It seemed like an impossible task, but I knew she was right. I needed to find a way to let go, to reclaim my peace of mind. It would be a journey, but I was ready to take the first step. The following week, I decided to visit Emily. It was time to face her, to confront the pain head-on and begin the process of healing. As I stood outside her apartment, my heart raced with a mix of fear and determination. I knocked on the door, my breath catching as I heard footsteps approaching. The door opened, and there she stood, Emily, her eyes red from crying, her expression a mix of guilt and sorrow. For a moment we simply stared at each other, the weight of the past heavy between us. "Claire," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, "I didn't think you'd come." "I needed to," I replied, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "We need to talk." She stepped aside, allowing me to enter. The apartment was a mess, reflecting the chaos of her emotions. We sat down on the couch, the silence between us thick with unspoken words. "I don't know where to start," Emily said, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Claire. I never meant to hurt you. It just happened, and I was too weak to stop it." Her words cut deep, but I forced myself to remain calm. "You betrayed me, Emily. You and Jake both. I trusted you more than anyone, and you destroyed that trust." "I know," she sobbed. "I hate myself for what I did. I wish I could take it all back." We talked for hours, laying everything bare, the pain, the anger, the regrets. It was a cathartic release, a way to finally confront the darkness that had consumed us. By the end of the conversation, I felt a sense of clarity, a lightness I hadn't felt in months. "I don't know if I can ever fully forgive you," I said, my voice firm but not unkind. "But I want to try, for both our sakes." Emily nodded, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Claire. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I promise I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you." It was a start, a fragile truce that would take time to build into something stronger. As I left her apartment, I felt a sense of hope, a belief that, somehow, we could find a way to heal. In the weeks that followed, I focused on rebuilding my life. I immersed myself in my new job, found joy in small moments, and even started dating again. It was through this journey that I met Alex, a kind, understanding man who had his own scars to bear. Alex had been at the wedding, a distant friend of Jake's who had seen the whole drama unfold. Our paths crossed again by chance, and we quickly formed a bond. He was different from anyone I had ever met, gentle, patient, and genuinely caring. As we spent more time together, our connection deepened, and I found myself falling for him. One evening, as we sat in a cozy cafe, Alex reached across the table, taking my hand in his. "Claire, I know you've been through a lot," he said softly, "but I want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what. I care about you more than I can put into words." Tears welled up in my eyes, but this time they were tears of joy. "Thank you, Alex," I whispered. "You've been my rock through all of this. I don't know what I'd do without you." As I looked into his eyes, I realized that despite the pain and betrayal, life had a way of surprising us with unexpected blessings. I had found love in the aftermath of heartbreak, a love that was genuine and true. It was a new beginning. a chance to create a future filled with hope and happiness. As the weeks turned into months, my relationship with Alex grew stronger. We spent countless evenings together talking about everything under the sun. He was a balm for my wounded heart, his presence bringing a sense of peace I hadn't felt in a long time. It was as if the universe had thrown us together at just the right moment, and I couldn't help but feel grateful for this unexpected connection. One crisp autumn evening, Alex and I decided to take a walk in the park. The leaves were turning brilliant shades of red and gold, a stunning backdrop for our deepening bond. We strolled hand in hand, our conversation flowing effortlessly. "Do you ever think about what might have been?" Alex asked, glancing at me with a thoughtful expression. "All the time," I admitted. "But I've come to realize that dwelling on the past only holds me back. I need to focus on the present and the future." He nodded, squeezing my hand gently. "I admire your strength, Claire. You've been through so much, yet you still find a way to move forward." "Thanks, Alex," I said, smiling up at him. "I couldn't have done it without you." As we continued our walk, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. Despite the pain and betrayal, life had given me a second chance at happiness, and I was determined to make the most of it. A few days later, I received an unexpected invitation from Emily. She wanted to meet for coffee, to talk about everything that had happened and where we stood now. Part of me was hesitant, unsure if I was ready to face her again so soon, but another part of me knew that this was an important step in my journey toward healing. I arrived at the cafe early, my nerves on edge as I waited for Emily. When she finally walked in, she looked nervous but determined. We hugged awkwardly, then sat down at a corner table. "Thanks for meeting me, Claire," she said, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "Of course," I replied, trying to keep my tone neutral. "What did you want to talk about?" Emily took a deep breath, her eyes searching mine. "I just wanted to say again how sorry I am. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize how much I hurt you. I want to make things right, if that's even possible." I studied her face, searching for any hint of insincerity, but all I saw was genuine regret. "I appreciate that, Emily, but you need to understand that rebuilding trust takes time. I'm not sure if we'll ever get back to where we were, but I'm willing to try." Her eyes filled with tears, and she nodded. "I understand. Thank you for giving me a chance." We talked for hours, addressing the pain and betrayal head-on. It was a difficult conversation, but it felt necessary. By the end of it, I felt a sense of closure, a belief that we could find a way to move forward, even if our relationship would never be the same. As I left the cafe, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. It was as if confronting Emily and laying everything bare had allowed me to finally start letting go of the past. I felt lighter, freer, ready to embrace whatever the future held. Meanwhile, my bond with Alex continued to grow. We spent more time together, sharing our hopes and dreams, our fears and insecurities. He opened up to me about his own past, the struggles he had faced, and the lessons he had learned. It was in these moments of vulnerability that our connection deepened, forging a bond that felt unbreakable. One evening, as we sat on my balcony, Alex turned to me with a serious expression. "Claire, there's something I need to tell you." My heart skipped a beat, a mix of anxiety and curiosity flooding my senses. "What is it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto mine. "I haven't been completely honest with you about my past. There's something you need to know." I listened intently as he shared his story, revealing a painful chapter of his life that he had kept hidden. He had been in a toxic relationship, one that had left deep scars. It was a story of manipulation and betrayal, eerily similar to what I had experienced with Jake and Emily. As he spoke, I felt a surge of empathy. "Alex, I'm so sorry you went through that," I said, reaching out to touch his hand. "Thank you for sharing this with me." He nodded, his eyes filled with gratitude. "I wanted you to know because I don't want any secrets between us. You've been so open and honest with me, and I owe you the same." In that moment, I realized just how much Alex meant to me. He had become my confidant, my rock, my partner in every sense of the word, and I knew that together we could face whatever challenges life threw our way. One weekend, we decided to take a trip to a nearby vineyard. It was a picturesque escape, a chance to unwind and enjoy each other's company. We spent the day exploring the lush grounds, tasting different wines, and basking in the beauty of the rolling hills. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over the vineyard, Alex turned to me with a smile. "Claire, there's something I've been meaning to ask you." "What is it?" I asked, my heart fluttering with anticipation. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. "I know we've both been through a lot, and I know we have our scars, but I also know that I've never felt this way about anyone before. You make me a better person, and I can't imagine my life without you. Claire, will you marry me?" Tears welled up in my eyes as I looked at the ring, a beautiful symbol of our journey together. "Yes, Alex," I said, my voice choked with emotion. "Yes, I will marry you." He slipped the ring onto my finger, and we embraced, the vineyard around us fading into the background. It was a moment of pure joy, a testament to the strength of our love and the resilience of the human spirit. As we walked back to our cottage hand in hand, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought us here. From the depths of betrayal and heartbreak, I had found a love that was true and unwavering. It was a new beginning, a chance to create a future filled with hope and happiness. Stay tuned for Part 5, where Claire and Alex navigate their engagement and face new challenges as they prepare for their future together. Alex and I returned from the vineyard with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement. Our engagement marked the beginning of a new chapter in our lives, one filled with promise and endless possibilities. But as we began to plan our future together, we quickly realized that our journey would not be without its challenges. We announced our engagement to our friends and family, their reactions a mix of joy and surprise. My parents were thrilled, eager to see me find happiness after everything I had been through. Even Emily, still grappling with her own guilt and redemption, expressed genuine happiness for us. "I'm so happy for you, Claire," Emily said, her voice sincere. "You deserve all the happiness in the world." "Thanks, Emily," I replied, offering her a small smile. "It means a lot to hear that from you." As Alex and I delved into wedding planning, we quickly realized how overwhelming the process could be. We wanted our wedding to be a reflection of our love and journey, but finding the right balance between simplicity and elegance was a daunting task. One evening, as we sat surrounded by wedding magazines and planning books, Alex looked at me with a twinkle in his eye. "How about we elope?" he suggested, half joking. I laughed, the idea both tempting and impractical. As much as I love the idea of escaping all this madness, I think our families would kill us if we did that. He chuckled, nodding in agreement. "You're probably right, but we should remember that this day is about us. Let's not get too caught up in the details." His words resonated with me, and we decided to focus on what truly mattered, our love and commitment to each other. With that mindset, we began to make progress, choosing a beautiful garden venue and planning an intimate ceremony with our closest friends and family. As the wedding day approached, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The memories of my previous almost wedding still lingered, a ghost of betrayal that I couldn't fully shake. But with Alex by my side, I felt a sense of calm and confidence that I hadn't known before. One day, while going through some old photos, I stumbled upon a picture of Jake and me from happier times. The sight of it stirred a whirlwind of emotions, and I found myself reflecting on the past and how far I had come. Alex noticed the change in my demeanor and sat down beside me, his hand gently resting on my shoulder. "What's on your mind?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. I handed him the photo, my eyes lingering on the image. "I guess I'm just thinking about how much has changed. I never imagined I'd be here, planning a wedding with you after everything that happened." He looked at the photo, then back at me, his expression thoughtful. "Life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? But I believe everything happens for a reason. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for the twists and turns along the way." I nodded, his words resonating deeply. "You're right, and I'm grateful for where we are now. For you." We embraced, the past fading into the background as we focused on the future. As the wedding day drew nearer, I felt a growing sense of anticipation and joy, eager to start this new chapter with Alex. The night before the wedding, we hosted a small rehearsal dinner with our closest friends and family. The atmosphere was warm and celebratory, a stark contrast to the tension that had surrounded my previous wedding attempt. As we raised our glasses in a toast, I felt a sense of closure, a belief that I was finally where I was meant to be. The day of the wedding dawned bright and clear, the sun casting a golden glow over the garden venue. I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my dress, my heart racing with excitement. Lily, my ever-supportive best friend, was by my side, helping me with the final touches. "You look stunning, Claire," she said, her eyes sparkling with pride. "Thanks, Lily," I replied, giving her a grateful smile. "I couldn't have done this without you." As the ceremony began, I walked down the aisle, my eyes locked onto Alex. He stood at the altar, his expression a mix of love and awe. The sight of him filled me with a sense of peace and certainty, knowing that I was making the right choice. The officiant began the ceremony, his words a blur as I focused on Alex. When it came time to exchange vows, we spoke from the heart, our promises a reflection of the journey we had taken together. "Alex," I began, my voice steadied despite the emotions swirling inside me. "From the moment we met, I knew there was something special about you. You've been my rock, my confidant, and my partner in every sense of the word. I promise to stand by you, to support you, and to love you with all my heart for the rest of our lives." Tears glistened in Alex's eyes as he took my hands. "Claire, you've shown me what true love and strength look like. You've been my guiding light through the darkest times, and I am forever grateful for you. I promise to cherish you, to protect you, and to love you unconditionally, always." As we exchanged rings, I felt a sense of completeness, a belief that we were exactly where we were meant to be. The officiant pronounced us husband and wife, and we shared our first kiss as a married couple, the cheers of our loved ones echoing around us. The reception was a joyous celebration, filled with laughter, music, and dancing. Our friends and family shared heartfelt toasts, their words a testament to the love and support that had carried us through. Even Emily, who had been tentative about attending, gave a sincere and tearful speech, expressing her happiness for us and her hopes for our future. "Claire, Alex," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Seeing you both here today, so happy and in love, gives me hope. I wish you nothing but the best, and I promise to work every day to earn back your trust and love." Her words touched me deeply, and I felt a sense of healing, a belief that time and effort could mend even the deepest wounds. As the night wore on, I danced with Alex under the stars, our hearts filled with joy and gratitude. As the wedding came to a close, we said our goodbyes and headed to our honeymoon destination, a secluded cabin in the mountains, a perfect retreat to begin our married life. The days we spent there were filled with love and laughter, a chance to reconnect and dream about our future together. One evening, as we sat by the fireplace, Alex turned to me with a serious expression. "Claire, there's something I've been thinking about." "What is it?" I asked, curious. "I want us to start a family," he said, his eyes filled with hope. "I know we've both been through a lot, but I believe we're ready for this next step." His words filled me with a mix of excitement and nervousness. The idea of starting a family had always been a dream, but the pain of the past had made me hesitant. Yet looking into Alex's eyes, I felt a sense of certainty and love that overcame my fears. "I want that too, Alex," I replied, my voice filled with emotion. "Let's start our family and build a life filled with love and happiness." As we embraced, I felt a sense of completeness, a belief that our journey was only just beginning. Despite the challenges and heartache, we had found each other, and together we could face anything that came our way. The months that followed our wedding were filled with a sense of contentment and anticipation. Alex and I had settled into married life with ease, enjoying the simple pleasures of being together. We spent weekends exploring new places, cooking elaborate dinners, and dreaming about our future. The idea of starting a family was always at the forefront of our conversations, and we eagerly began planning for this next chapter. One crisp winter morning, I sat on the edge of the bathtub, staring at the small pregnancy test in my hand. My heart raced as I waited for the results, my mind a whirlwind of emotions. When the little plus sign finally appeared, I felt a rush of joy and disbelief. "Alex!" I called out, my voice trembling with excitement. "Come here!" He rushed into the bathroom, his eyes wide with concern. "What is it, Claire? Are you okay?" I held up the test, my hands shaking. "We're going to have a baby." For a moment he just stared at the test, his face a mix of shock and joy. Then he pulled me into his arms, lifting me off the ground as he spun me around. "Claire, that's amazing! We're going to be parents." We celebrated that night, toasting with sparkling cider and talking late into the night about our hopes and dreams for our child. It felt like a new beginning, a chance to build a life filled with love and happiness. As my pregnancy progressed, I reveled in the changes happening within me. Alex was the perfect partner, attending every doctor's appointment, reading parenting books, and pampering me with massages and late-night snack runs. We decorated the nursery together, choosing a theme of stars and moons, a symbol of the endless possibilities that lay ahead. But as my due date approached, I began to feel a growing sense of anxiety. The pain of my past still lingered, and I couldn't shake the fear that something might go wrong. Alex noticed my unease and did his best to reassure me, but the worry gnawed at the edges of my happiness. One evening, as we sat on the couch, Alex wrapped his arms around me, his touch soothing. "Claire, what's on your mind?" I sighed, leaning into him. "I guess I'm just scared. What if something goes wrong? What if I'm not a good mother?" He kissed the top of my head, his voice gentle. "Claire, you're going to be an amazing mother, and no matter what happens, well, face it together. You're not alone in this." His words brought a sense of comfort, and I resolved to focus on the positive, to embrace the joy of this new chapter. But as the due date neared, life threw us an unexpected curveball. It was a stormy night when I felt the first contractions. Alex and I rushed to the hospital, our hearts pounding with a mix of excitement and fear. The labor was long and difficult, and complications arose that left me and the baby in distress. I clung to Alex's hand, his presence the only thing keeping me grounded as the doctors worked to ensure a safe delivery. After what felt like an eternity, I heard the first cries of our baby, a beautiful, healthy girl. The relief and joy that washed over me were indescribable. I held our daughter in my arms, her tiny fingers gripping mine, and I knew that everything we had been through had led us to this moment. "We did it," Alex whispered, his eyes filled with tears as he looked at our daughter. "She's perfect." As we settled into life as new parents, we faced the challenges and joys of raising a child. There were sleepless nights, endless diaper changes, and moments of pure exhaustion. But there were also first smiles, tiny giggles, and the overwhelming love that filled our hearts every time we looked at our daughter. Emily became a frequent visitor, her presence a reminder of the healing that had taken place between us. She adored her niece, and watching her interact with our daughter brought a sense of peace. It was as if the scars of the past were slowly being replaced by new, happier memories. One afternoon, as Emily and I sat in the park watching my daughter play, she turned to me with a serious expression. "Claire, there's something I've been wanting to tell you." I looked at her, sensing the weight of her words. "What is it, Emily?" She took a deep breath, her eyes filled with determination. "I've been seeing a therapist, working through everything that happened, and I've realized that I need to make amends, not just with you, but with myself. I'm moving away for a while to focus on my healing and to find a new path." Her words took me by surprise, but I could see the sincerity in her eyes. "Emily, that's a big step. I'm proud of you for taking it." She smiled, tears glistening in her eyes. "Thank you, Claire. I know it's going to be hard, but I need to do this. For myself and for us." We hugged, the bond between us stronger than it had been in a long time. I watched her walk away, feeling a mix of sadness and hope. It was another step in our journey of healing, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As Alex and I continued to navigate the joys and challenges of parenthood, we found ourselves growing even closer. Our love deepened with each passing day, and I felt a sense of gratitude for the life we were building together. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Alex turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Claire, have you ever thought about writing a book?" The idea took me by surprise. "A book? About what?" "About your journey," he said, his eyes filled with encouragement. "Everything you've been through, the lessons you've learned, the strength you found. Your story could inspire so many people." I considered his words, feeling a spark of excitement. "You know, I think I might like that." Over the next few months I began to write, pouring my heart and soul into the pages. It was a cathartic process, a way to make sense of the past and to celebrate the present. Alex was my biggest supporter, reading every draft, offering feedback, and encouraging me every step of the way. As the book took shape, I felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. It was a testament to the journey I had taken, the obstacles I had overcome, and the love that had guided me through. When it was finally published, the response was overwhelming. People from all walks of life reached out, sharing their own stories of pain and healing, and thanking me for inspiring them. Through it all, I realized that my story was just one of many, a thread in the tapestry of human experience. And I felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love and support that had carried me through, from the depths of betrayal to the heights of joy. As our daughter grew, so did our family. Alex and I welcomed a second child, a boy who brought even more love and laughter into our lives. Our home was filled with the sounds of children's laughter, the warmth of family dinners, and the quiet moments of togetherness that made life so precious. One evening, as we sat together on the porch, watching our children play, I turned to Alex, my heart overflowing with love. "Thank you," I said, my voice filled with emotion. "For what?" he asked, his eyes crinkling with a smile. "For everything," I replied. "For being my rock, my partner, my love. For helping me find my way back to happiness." He kissed me gently, his touch a reminder of the love that had brought us together. "Thank you, Claire, for being you, for loving me, and for building this beautiful life with me." As we watched the sunset, I felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. The journey had been long and difficult, but it had led me to a place of profound joy and contentment, and I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together with love and resilience. The years rolled by, and life settled into a rhythm of love, laughter, and the occasional chaos that comes with raising two energetic children. Our daughter, Emma, and our son, Lucas, filled our days with joy and mischief. They were a perfect blend of Alex's kindness and my determination, each with their own unique personalities and quirks. Emma was a curious, adventurous child who loved exploring the world around her. She had a knack for asking the most profound questions at the most unexpected times, her bright eyes always searching for answers. Lucas, on the other hand, was a bundle of energy, always running, jumping, and climbing. He had a contagious laugh that could lighten even the darkest of moods. One sunny Saturday, we decided to take the kids on a hike in the nearby mountains. It was a favorite family activity, a chance to escape the hustle and bustle of daily life and reconnect with nature. Emma and Lucas raced ahead, their laughter echoing through the trees as Alex and I followed, holding hands and enjoying the peace of the moment. "Mom, look at this rock!" Emma called out, holding up a small sparkly stone she had found. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," I said, admiring her find. "It looks like a piece of quartz." "Can I keep it?" she asked, her eyes wide with excitement. "Of course," Alex replied, smiling. You can add it to your collection." As we continued our hike, I couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for these simple moments. They were a reminder of how far we had come and how much we had to be thankful for. Our family was my greatest treasure, and I cherished every second we spent together. Later that evening, after the kids were tucked into bed, Alex and I sat on the porch, enjoying the cool night air. The sky was clear and the stars shone brightly, casting a soft glow over the landscape. It was a perfect night, one of those rare moments when everything felt right in the world. "Claire, I've been thinking," Alex said, his voice breaking the comfortable silence. "What's on your mind?" I asked, curious. "I think it's time for another adventure," he replied, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "What kind of adventure?" I asked, intrigued. "I've been offered a job opportunity," he explained. "It's a big move, but it could be an incredible experience for all of us. We'd have to relocate, but I think it could be a great adventure for the family." His words took me by surprise. The thought of uprooting our lives was daunting, but the excitement in his eyes was contagious. "Where would we be moving?" I asked, my curiosity piqued. "To a small town in Colorado," he replied. "It's a beautiful place with great schools for the kids and plenty of outdoor activities. I think we'd love it there." The idea of moving to a new place was both thrilling and terrifying, but as I looked into Alex's eyes, I knew that together we could face any challenge. "Let's do it," I said, my heart pounding with excitement. "Let's go on this adventure." The following months were a whirlwind of packing, planning, and saying goodbye to friends and family. It was a bittersweet time, filled with the anticipation of a new beginning and the sadness of leaving behind the familiar. But through it all, our family remained strong, united by the love and support that had always carried us through. The move to Colorado was an adventure in every sense of the word. The small town we settled in was picturesque, with breathtaking mountain views and a close-knit community. Emma and Lucas adapted quickly, making new friends and exploring their new surroundings with the same enthusiasm they had always shown. For Alex and me, the move was a chance to start fresh, to build a new life together in a place that felt like home. We found a charming house on the outskirts of town, surrounded by trees and open fields. It was a perfect setting for our family, a place where we could create new memories and embrace the beauty of the world around us. One weekend, we decided to explore a nearby lake, a popular spot for fishing and boating. We rented a small boat and spent the day on the water, the kids laughing and splashing as Alex and I watched with smiles on our faces. "Mom! Dad! Look at the fish!" Lucas shouted, pointing to the water where a school of fish darted by. "That's amazing!" Alex said, helping him reel in his fishing line. "You're a natural fisherman, Lucas." Emma, not to be outdone, held up her own fishing rod. "I want to catch a fish too." We spent the afternoon fishing, swimming, and enjoying the beauty of the lake. It was a perfect day, a reminder of the joy that could be found in the simplest of moments. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the water, we headed back to shore, tired but happy. We sat on the dock, watching the sky change colors, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. "Thank you for this, Alex," I said, leaning into him, "for bringing us here for this new adventure." He wrapped his arm around me, pulling me close. "Thank you, Claire, for being my partner in everything. I couldn't do this without you." Our new life in Colorado was filled with new challenges and surprises, but also with an overwhelming sense of joy and fulfillment. We embraced the adventure, finding strength in each other and in the love that had always been the foundation of our family. One day, as I was unpacking a box of old photographs, I stumbled upon a picture of my family from my childhood. It was a reminder of where I had come from, of the journey that had brought me to this place. I felt a wave of gratitude for the twists and turns that had shaped my life, leading me to this beautiful moment. I shared the photo with Alex and the kids, telling them stories of my childhood and the lessons I had learned along the way. It was a chance to reflect on the past, to honor the journey that had brought us here, and to look forward to the future with hope and excitement. As the years passed, our family continued to grow and thrive. Emma and Lucas flourished in their new environment, excelling in school and making lifelong friends. Alex's career took off, and I found fulfillment in my writing, sharing our story and connecting with others who had faced similar challenges. Through it all, we remained a strong, united family, facing each new challenge with love and resilience. We celebrated the milestones, supported each other through the tough times, and cherished the moments of joy that filled our lives. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, I turned to Alex, my heart overflowing with love and gratitude. "I couldn't have asked for a better partner, a better life," I said, my voice filled with emotion. He smiled, his eyes reflecting the same love and gratitude. "And I couldn't have asked for a better adventure." As we watched the sun dip below the horizon, I felt a sense of completeness, a belief that our journey was only just beginning. No matter what challenges lay ahead, I knew we would face them together, with love, strength, and the unwavering bond that had carried us through so much. Life in Colorado became a tapestry of memories, each thread woven with laughter, love, and resilience. Emma and Lucas continued to grow, their unique personalities shining brighter with each passing year. Emma, with her inquisitive nature, developed a passion for science and exploration. Lucas, always full of energy, discovered a love for sports, particularly soccer. Our family thrived in our new environment. We found joy in the simple moments. Emma's excitement over a new discovery, Lucas' victorious grin after scoring a goal, Alex's warm smile as we shared a quiet evening on the porch. Our home was filled with the warmth of love and the promise of new adventures. One summer, we decided to take a family road trip across the country. It was an opportunity to explore new places, create lasting memories, and strengthen the bond between us. We packed our car with snacks, games, and a sense of adventure, ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. Our first stop was the Grand Canyon. Standing at the edge of the vast expanse, we marveled at the breathtaking beauty of the natural wonder. Emma and Lucas were in awe, their eyes wide with wonder as they peered over the edge. "Wow, it's so big!" Lucas exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement. "It looks like it's from another planet," Emma added, her curiosity piqued. We spent the day hiking along the rim, taking in the stunning views and capturing countless photos. As the sun set, painting the canyon in hues of orange and pink, we sat together, enjoying the moment of tranquility. "This is amazing," I said, leaning into Alex. "Thank you for this adventure." He smiled, wrapping his arm around me. "Thank you for being my partner in everything. I couldn't imagine doing this with anyone else." Our journey continued, taking us through vibrant cities, charming small towns, and breathtaking landscapes. We explored national parks, visited museums, and tried local cuisines. Each stop was a new adventure, a chance to learn and grow together. One evening, as we sat around a campfire in Yellowstone National Park, Emma asked a question that sparked a deep conversation. "Mom, Dad, what do you think is the most important thing in life?" she asked, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames. Alex and I exchanged a thoughtful glance. "I think it's love," I said softly. "Love for each other, for our family, for the world around us. It's what gives life meaning and purpose." Alex nodded in agreement. "And resilience. Life will always have its challenges, but it's our ability to overcome them, to keep moving forward, that defines us." Emma and Lucas listened intently, their expressions thoughtful. It was a moment of connection, a reminder of the values that guided our family. As our road trip came to an end, we returned to Colorado with hearts full of memories and a renewed sense of purpose. Our journey had brought us closer together, reinforcing the bond that held our family strong. Back at home, life resumed its familiar rhythm. Emma and Lucas returned to school, eager to share their adventures with friends. Alex and I settled back into our routines, finding joy in the everyday moments that made up our life. One day I received an unexpected email from a publishing house. They had come across my blog and were interested in turning my story into a book. The offer was a dream come true, a chance to reach a wider audience and inspire others with our journey. Excitedly, I shared the news with Alex and the kids. "They want to publish my story," I said, my voice filled with disbelief and joy. "That's amazing, Mom!" Emma exclaimed, her eyes shining with pride. "You're going to be a famous author," Lucas added, his excitement contagious. Alex pulled me into a hug, his smile reflecting his pride. "You deserve this, Claire. Your story has the power to inspire so many people." With their encouragement, I began the process of turning my blog into a book. It was a labor of love, a chance to reflect on the journey that had brought us here and to celebrate the strength and resilience that had carried us through. As I worked on the book, life continued to unfold in beautiful and unexpected ways. Emma's passion for science led her to win a scholarship to a prestigious summer camp, where she thrived and made lasting friendships. Lucas' dedication to soccer earned him a spot on the school's varsity team, and we cheered him on at every game, our hearts swelling with pride. One evening, as we sat down for dinner, Emma shared an exciting piece of news. "I got an internship at the local science museum," she announced, her face glowing with excitement. "That's incredible, Emma," Alex said, his voice filled with pride. "We're so proud of you." Lucas chimed in, his eyes sparkling with admiration for his sister. "You're going to do amazing things, Emma." Our family continued to grow and evolve, each of us finding our own paths and supporting each other along the way. Alex and I cherished the quiet moments we shared, our love deepening with each passing year. One weekend, we decided to take a spontaneous trip to the mountains. We rented a cozy cabin and spent our days hiking, fishing, and enjoying the beauty of nature. It was a chance to reconnect and create new memories, away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. As we sat by the fireplace one evening, Alex took my hand, his eyes filled with love. "Claire, I've been thinking," he began, his voice gentle. "Our life has been an incredible journey filled with so many adventures and challenges. But through it all, we've always had each other, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us." I smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and love. "I feel the same way, Alex. No matter what comes our way, I know we'll face it together." The years continued to pass, each one bringing new challenges and joys. Emma graduated high school with honors, earning a scholarship to a top university where she pursued her passion for environmental science. Lucas continued to excel in soccer, his dedication and hard work paying off as he received offers from several colleges. Our family faced the ups and downs of life with resilience and love, always finding strength in each other. We celebrated the milestones, supported each other through the tough times, and cherished the moments of joy that filled our lives. One summer, we decided to take another family road trip, this time to explore the East Coast. We visited historical sites, walked along beautiful beaches, and enjoyed the vibrant cities. It was another adventure, a chance to create lasting memories and strengthen the bond between us. As we stood on the cliffs of AITA National Park, looking out at the vast ocean, I felt a sense of awe and gratitude. Life had taken us on an incredible journey, filled with twists and turns, but it had also brought us to this beautiful moment. "Look at that view," Emma said, her voice filled with wonder. "It's amazing." "It really is," Alex agreed, his arm wrapped around me, "and I'm so grateful we get to experience it together." As we watched the sunset, casting a golden glow over the landscape, I felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. Our journey was far from over, but I knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, we would face them together, with love and resilience. Back in Colorado, life continued to unfold in beautiful and unexpected ways. Emma excelled in her studies, her passion for environmental science driving her to make a difference in the world. Lucas pursued his dream of playing professional soccer, his talent and dedication earning him a spot on a top college team. Alex and I found new ways to support each other and our children, our love deepening with each passing year. We celebrated the milestones, cherished the quiet moments, and faced each challenge with resilience and grace. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Alex turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Claire, have you ever thought about what comes next?" I smiled, feeling a sense of excitement and anticipation. "I think the future is full of possibilities," I said, my voice filled with hope. "And whatever comes next, I know we'll face it together." As we watched the sun dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the landscape, I felt a sense of completeness, a belief that our journey was only just beginning. No matter what challenges lay ahead, I knew we would face them together, with love, strength, and the unwavering bond that had carried us through so much.